All right, so here it is, all of the massive Destiny 2 news that we have been waiting for and hearing from Bungie. We're going to read all of the articles that they have posted here today. We're going to save the 10 years of Destiny for the end. We're going to start by paving the way for new frontiers. All right, so today marks the 10-year anniversary of Destiny. We set out in 2014 to do something new and different for our studio. We've conquered the Witness, looted dungeons, ascended to the Lighthouse, and more. Now we look to the future. We're plotting our course to the stars through codename Frontiers. We close the door with the final shape, but we are opening a new one, a weird one, an exciting one that takes Destiny to places it has never been before. We're building this future now and are excited to share with you a first glimpse of it today. All right, so here we have just straight up a roadmap. Expansion, seasonal update, rewards pass. So I'm assuming they are defining things kind of like episodes. I don't know why they're saying seasonal. So are we going back to a seasonal model? Is that what that means? So episodes is just going to be like a 1 year thing and we're going to be back to seasons. That's how I'm taking this. And I hope Bungie is aware that when they do this kind of thing, that is how the average person will take it. Is that, oh, they're just changing up their models willy nilly, which is not a good look personally. But we're gonna keep going because I have faith. I have faith. So we have Summer 2025 expansion codename Apollo, season available to all players. So that seems like a good thing to point out here. Season available to all players. I'm assuming that means you're gonna have your expansion, but then you're gonna have a seasonal content which is free to all. That's what that is appearing. That's how that is reading to me. That is that how that appears. Available to all players, or is it available to all players for purchase? So summer 2025 major update codename Arsenal rewards pass. Fall update major update codename Surge rewards pass. So we're going back to the seasonal model after a year of episodes. Okay, so let's look at this again. So expansion, new stories, new locations, new missions, new weapons, new gear, new raids and dungeons. All right, so this is literally the first inkling of any type that we have seen right here. And I'll zoom way the F in on it if I even can. I don't think I can. New raids and dungeons. I'm assuming that is the best confirmation we're going to get that there's going to be a raid. Maybe there will be more as we keep reading. Seasonal update, new and reprised activities, new gear and artifact mods, new modifiers and challenges, new sandbox meta, new events. Okay. Your rewards pass, exotic weapon and ornament. All right, so that's your season pass. Legendary weapon and armor ornaments, gear upgrade, resources, cosmetics, and more. And we have codename Apollo, codename Behemoth. I'm gonna sneeze. Need to blow my nose. 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So this roadmap lays out our plan for year 11 and beyond, with some exciting changes to our annual model, 2 expansions per year, 4 major updates of free content every year. So that is huge right there. So that confirms immediately what I was just talking about looking at this image, that we are going to be receiving some sort of free content drops in Destiny. And that's what that means here. So I'm going to record this, TikTok it, refer back to it later when they change shit. This right here confirms we'll be getting 2 expansions per year, which I'm assuming are paid, and then 4 major updates of free content. All right, so everybody remember this right here. We're going to clip it. 4 major content, 4 major updates of free content every year. Over the next few months, we will be sharing more info with you on codename Frontiers, which is how we are describing major innovations coming to Destiny over the next few years, starting with our next expansion, codename Apollo. We have several dev insight deep dives going live today, and we'll continue to add more to this list over the weeks and months to come. Today, we also have Tyson Green, the game director for Destiny 2, and Allison Allures, which I'm sorry I probably pronounced incorrectly, the Destiny 2 narrative director, diving through some of our future plans for Destiny 2. Our goal is to be more transparent in our communication with you. This means sharing our work more frequently, even if you see our mistakes and false starts along the way. So please remember that our roadmap and plans are subject to change as we get deeper into development. Ultimately, this is your game too. We want you to see more of how it is made and why. If you take away nothing else, it should be this. We're excited for Destiny to change and improve in ways that allow it to keep evolving in the future. So our Dev Insight deep dives, which are going to be the next thing we look at. We have core game activities. Make sure I have these in the same order they do. Core game rewards, great. And then the portal. Our vision for the future of Destiny 2. All right, so from Tyson himself, my name is Tyson. I'm the game director for Destiny 2, and I'm excited to speak today about our team's vision for Destiny. First and foremost, we all still love Destiny. It is a unique and challenging game both for you and for us. I've personally been working on Destiny for 15 years, and it still excites me creatively. There are not many games I could say that about. It's quite true. But at the same time, we recognize that it has become too rigid. Expansions have started to feel formulaic and are over too quickly with little replay value. Seasons and episodes keep getting bigger, but can still feel like you are just going through the motions. We believe it's time for Destiny to change and evolve, and that our community wants this game to grow and innovate too. And to do that, we need to start breaking some of the molds. All right, so for our annual expansions, we love creating annual expansions and are especially proud of the final shape, but the truth is that they dominate almost all our development effort. We need to free ourselves up to explore and innovate how we deliver Destiny 2 content so we can invest in areas of the game that will feel more impactful to players. Starting next year, instead of one big expansion, we are going to deliver 2 medium-sized expansions, one every 6 months. There will be a bloodbath worse than what we are seeing now if they do not meet these expectations they are setting. There is a lot that just in the little bit we've read already that are very high expectations they are setting. And this is one timeline goal they are going to have to meet on. Because if we end up waiting a whole year between these, and they're these smaller content packages like they're talking about, like I hate to be doom or gloom, be all Destiny's dying, whatever, but like it will be. Like there will be no one left if they don't deliver on this. All right, so each of these will depart from the one-shot campaign structure we've been using essentially unchanged in Shadowkeep. And each will be an opportunity to explore new, exciting formats instead. We are excited to try new things that challenge your idea of what a Destiny experience can be. We are actively prototyping non-linear campaigns, exploration experiences similar to the Dreaming City or Metroidvanias. I hope I said that right. And even more unusual formats like roguelikes or survival shooters. Each expansion will present a new opportunity to try something different. So, so this will absolutely bring some breaths of fresh air. Like, if you're able to incorporate that roguelike feeling you had in, like, the Coil, but throughout an entire, like, DLC with multiple missions and things that you can do, like, that absolutely would bring, like, another breath of fresh air to the game. All right, so departing from one-shot campaigns doesn't mean we are turning away from great storytelling. Going forward, we want to return to the mystery and wonder that was woven into the fabric of early Destiny, when the story felt ripe with possibilities and an epic sense of exploration and discovery. Great stories are as important as ever in our creative vision, and Allison will touch more on that below. With the change to 2 expansions per year, our seasonal model will be changing as well. Instead of 3 episodes, we will be building 4 major updates per year, one every 3 months. Each expansion will launch alongside a major update at the start of a season, and a second major update will follow 3 months later to refresh the core game with new and reprised content, including activities, strikes, exotic missions, and entirely new modes like Onslaught, rewards, weapons, armor, artifact mods, exotics, and more, new weekly events, new features, combat meta, and balance updates. The big seasonal resets will still happen, but now twice a year alongside the expansions. Each update will be a substantial refresh of the core game, bringing new activities and reward content. We are also excited to announce that, like Destiny 2 Into the Light, these updates and their content will be free to all players. That's huge. The fact that they're offering proper free-to-play content in what seems like a larger, more consistent quantity at all is absolutely a good thing, absolutely a move in the right direction. The only thing we can do now is just hope that all these things that they're saying here, all these things that are more than we have gotten the past however many years, that they are able to deliver on. Now, there are many things that have gone on with, Sony and that whole situation with Bungie that it's entirely possible. Because the way that they've sold what has happened with Sony recently is that Sony has basically taken over all these new IPs that Bungie was trying too hard to work on while letting Destiny go to the wayside, letting Marathon, which wasn't even out, go to the wayside. So hopefully that even though it looks like to many people on the outside that they no longer have the capacity to deliver these things, they actually will have more capacity to deliver these things, because the studio won't be split so much into so many different projects at once. The big seasonal resets will still happen, but now twice a year alongside the expansions. I believe we just read that. All right. So the core game. The core game is Destiny's always available, evergreen activity experience, and we need to fix two key things in it. Approachability. First, Destiny is too complex. Destiny is not too complex. Destiny is very simple. What we need is a campaign quest system that says, hey, here's where you're going to start. Go do this next. You can't do anything else until you've done this. We don't need Destiny made simpler. Destiny is not too complex. You don't need a PhD to figure out how to get the rewards you're looking for. We need a better quest system that says, hey, go do this. You do not have access to anything else, story-wise or higher difficulty-wise, until you've completed this objective. And they've been afraid of doing that for years because the quests that they do are half-baked and done on spaghetti code and get bugged and people become soft-locked or hard-locked. Oh well. We need a system, a quest system. I'm going to say it one last time. A quest system that says, hey, go do this. You can't do anything else until after. And then a lot of the rewards and things we get from those activities can be hidden. They can be surprises because the game walks you through the content. All right. So we're going to fix this by modernizing our activity UI, the director, to make it easier for everyone to find and launch integrate activities. And we're reworking our reward model to make sure that all those activities offer meaningful rewards. Our deep dives on activities and rewards go into more detail on these changes in particular. All right, so I guess I shouldn't speak too soon. We'll wait till we get to this other stuff. We're still in the first article here. Fear and challenge should matter. Even great activities stop mattering if the challenge dries up and the rewards aren't worth it. So we're investing in a greatly improved challenge customization system to let players of any skill range find the right challenge level for them, with rewards that improve based on the challenge level you take on. These won't just be simple incoming damage increase either. The team is cooking up some great gameplay modifiers that give enemies some exciting tools to mix things up on every run. We will have a deep dive coming soon to show off some of these new threats. And I'll be looking forward to that and be doing exactly what we're doing here now when it comes out. All right, so as for the rewards, there will be higher tiers of the legendary gear. Think adept weapons and artifice armor that will be available from these higher challenge ranges in a much wider variety of activities across both PvE and PvP. These two changes will keep the core game experience easier to drop into and much deeper in terms of variety and pursuit of personal mastery. And they are a starting point for ongoing changes aimed to continue to improve Destiny in these regards. All right, so this sounds like another Get Good update, which means I need to get back into Root of Nightmares and finally solo it. All right. The next multi-year saga starts with Codename Apollo. And this is some really cool art we got here. Look at that. These are like some type of ship we've never seen before, but that almost looks like the Braytech symbol. Almost looks like big old Clovis head is still doing things behind her back a little. Hate to jump to conclusions. Could be something completely different. Maybe it's the Aphelion, which we haven't heard about in years. Who knows? Who knows? All right. All right, so from Miss Lores, hello, I'm Allison. I'm the D2 narrative director. I'm a fresh face at Bungie. I started doing narrative direction for seasons in fall 2022, and my first D2 expansion was The Final Shape. Well, you know what? She did a great job with The Final Shape. The narrative is probably the best it's been in years, so I have faith that we'll keep on keeping on in that direction. We're proud of The Final Shape and the ending we created for the Light and Darkness saga, and we knew that the episodes that follow would act as an epilogue, tying up the Light and Dark's hanging threads, but also setting us up for what's next. The episodes close doors and open new ones, purposeful ones, storylines that are set in place to prepare us for what comes next. And what is next in our new saga. We'll see teases of it in the later 2 episodes and then fully kick off with Codename Apollo. This next saga is also based around a core theme much like Light and Darkness did. It will introduce plenty of new characters, factions, twists, and more. There's a lot more here we will say eventually, but we don't want to spoil the journey for you. This will be a multi-year journey, one that we can't wait to take you on. Our first expansion, Codename Apollo, is a non-linear, character-driven adventure. And what do we mean by Codename Apollo is non-linear? Previously in stories like The Final Shape, you experience the story as A to B, B to C, C to D in a nice straight line. In Codename Apollo, our story takes place over dozens of threads you'll explore and discover. So when you land on our brand new location, the story starts at A, but then you can choose if you want to explore C first, or try and get into B, or maybe investigate D. And the options you didn't choose, don't worry, those other options are still open for you to go back and play through. You'll need to. Because the more you play and discover, the more the story progresses, so experiencing a certain number of threads opens up the next part of the story. The order in which you explore will be something you choose, but we have built Codename Apollo in a way that the story always makes sense and flows from beginning to middle to end. There's no time dating, no waiting for the next drop. Codename Apollo's story unfolds based on player progression. And here we just have this concept art. It's beautiful. I hope this, we've all been assuming that we're going to like an entirely new destination. And this over here on the right almost very, very faintly makes it look like we're following the Traveler, even though I highly doubt that. But the concept art we're seeing, it's cool. I like it. Destiny is at its best when it's mysterious, weird, and not afraid to try new things. The shift to nonlinear stories isn't something we're locking ourselves into, but it is the structure that fits Codename Apollo best. The narrative structure of the releases that follow will be quite different, a structure to suit that game's experience. And we want to continue to innovate with each expansion across both gameplay and narrative. See, this could end up being really cool one of the things people love about like Remnant 2 is the procedural generation of it. So even though you are doing the exact same thing as someone else, you're going to experience it in a different order, in a different way. And that's something that is just holds me always as a gamer. That is something that just holds me. It gives you that replayability. So this could be like, if you take that comparison, this could be good. All right. So the end of this first article here, we have Into the Unknown. It all sounds like a big change, and it is, because when the rhythm of our story becomes predictable, or when characters and our world fail to change, that's how we create a situation, not a story. So how can we innovate? By telling a story that keeps up with our innovation, not one that slows it down. That means an evolving world, giving space for new characters, growing and evolving factions, making sure the story we tell is in a world we have nurtured and with characters who grow in turn. We believe in rewarding the player for paying attention without punishing someone for not knowing something. That way, everyone gets to come along for the ride, no matter how deep in the lore they are. We'll see that approach starting with episodes and continuing into the new multi-year story. The number one thing that this paragraph gives me hope for is the way that there used to be real secrets in Destiny. There used to be things that were just out in the game that we didn't discover because there was no API, there was no data mining, there were just things you had to pay attention for. And if they're able to, in 2024 and beyond, bring that back to Destiny, that's what the game needs. More than anything, that is what the game has needed. And I know I'm not the only player who shares that opinion and sentiment. So we'll see. So when we think about a multi-year arc, what does that look like? Think of it as a constellation of stories united by a single theme. We will show you what that theme is later, but suffice to say, we believe in it. Think of this multi-year arc as a web, not a line. Each release fits into the larger saga. We can't wait for you to take on that journey. Story is so easy to spoil, so I won't ruin the details for what the theme in Codename Apollo is or what it's about, but I will give you something to look forward to. Apollo ends with the narrative gasoline that will propel us into the next few years with a clear theme, goal, and a destination that won't come at you as a straight line, but will be well worth the trip. It'll reward you, it'll surprise you, and it'll take us places Destiny has never been before. See you when the time is right. Okay. And with that, we come to a close. Well, to the well, a new beginning, really. All right, yeah. No, this is yeah, it's the end of a new beginning with the final shape, and this is just overall a new beginning for the future of Destiny. I mean, we've all been wondering what's gonna come next. Now we're finding out. We're gonna have a new saga. So now let's get into more about just straight up the gameplay activities. This would be a lot more gameplay focused, I'm assuming. Oh, okay. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're getting a preview of some UI there. All right, so welcome to one of many developer insight articles for Codename Frontiers. Over the weeks and months to come, we will be covering a lot of different topics about changes coming to Destiny 2 next year with these deeper dives. Check back with our Paving the Way for New Frontiers article for more information on our plans and an always updated list of these articles as they are published. Now let's talk about the core gameplay activities. The core game is Destiny's always available ritual activity offering, ranging from strikes to crucible to events. Going forward, an even wider range of core game activities will provide more variety, deeper mastery, and better rewards through the introduction of challenge customization. So our TLDR here is that core game activities feature a wider variety of new and updated activities across many types, with an updated selection every major update. Challenge customization will provide a way to adjust activity difficulty with better rewards for those seeking more challenges. The new portal screen allows for quick access to core game activities, making it easy to find what you want to play. So the problem. In Destiny's releases, all attention has been on a relatively small offering of newly introduced seasonal activities, most often with a narrow range of difficulty options, if any. Rewards and objectives have focused all purposeful play into these activities to the exclusion of most others. As a result, the ritual game quickly becomes stale and is exhausted of worthwhile rewards, and any further pursuit requires a pretty deep knowledge of Destiny or online guides to find worthwhile rewards in older activities. Core game activities offering and the portal. The core game activities are those accessed from the new portal screen and are together a selection of several dozen new and updated activities that tie into the current seasonal theme and gameplay meta. This selection is updated every major update and includes the current expansion and any running events. So this feels like they're trying to expand even more on previously what was like our focus quest that we have now. I don't have the game up to show, but it's like, you have like your main quest the game wants you to focus on, and then like an exotic quest or whatever other thing is going on. So this is an early mock-up that is scheduled to change. For more information about the portal, please check out the deep dive blank, which is over here. We'll take a look at that. I have core name up twice, don't I? Oh, wait, these are different? Oh, rewards, right, rewards. All right, so the challenge customization. All right, so this is going to be a big deal, this thing here, and we can already see in this that there's just like going to be a ton of options for difficulty. Just an absolute ton of them. So I'm assuming we're going to have 5 level scaling now, or obviously here they're showing it to be very different the way the level scaling will be, but let's just keep reading. The major change to core game activities is that they all support deeper personal mastery and a corresponding deep reward offering. We'll start with PvP activities, then dive into the Crucible and PvP, which present unique challenges. All of the PvE activities will now support robust challenge customization, exposed as new options alongside selecting the difficulty. So we can see here they show like Expert 1, and you have your rewards you could get. And then Expert 2, things that adds gameplay, enemy power, different rules, I'm assuming are modifiers, apply modifiers. This all seems good to me. This reminds me a lot of, back in the Halo days when you could have your selectable different modifiers and customize your same firefight a few different ways, So these are work in progress mockups that are subject to change. Challenge customization gives you the ability to select and activate challenge modifiers which affect the activity you are launching. These challenge modifiers may introduce new enemy combatant abilities to increase their threat, introduce new combat challenges that change how you play, provide incentives for changing up your build crafting, raise the power target for the activity, globally increasing the difficulty. As a player, you will first be able to select the base difficulty such as Expert or Grandmaster. The difficulty will set some base difficulty tuning and a power target, but more importantly will determine how many challenge modifiers you can add on, and in some cases, which challenge modifiers are available. Higher difficulty means more challenge modifiers to slot and a wider variety of them to choose from. So our rewards rating. Rising to the right level of challenge can make an activity not only more fun to play, but more rewarding too. All core game activities will support reward rating, which is a combined team and personal score that determines the amount and quality of rewards obtained at the end of the activity. Reward rating is increased by playing an activity at a higher base difficulty, applying challenge modifiers which have individual bonuses to reward rating, having personal bonuses from sources like power, artifacts, or buffs. Here's how reward ratings works. As a team, you will earn a team rating over the activity, determined on a per activity basis. Sometimes this will resemble existing systems like Nightfall Score, but new activity types can have their own way to determine team rating. This outcome is shared by all members of the team and will always try to mitigate competition between teammates for things like scoring, kills, or specific setups. At the end of the activity, your team rating is multiplied by any personal bonuses you may have. This final multiplied value is your reward rating, and this value is used to determine the quality and quantity of rewards. Reward rating is used to determine things like the quality tier of the weapons and armor that drop, or the quantity of useful consumables like enhancement prisms or ascendant shards. In this way, you can select any core game activity, use your skill, and build to make on more and more challenging versions of it, and earn higher and higher tier rewards. Except Crucible. Crucible is a unique challenge because you cannot simply add challenge modifiers or use the score of a match as a team rating. This is a tricky problem we're still working out. We're working through options like factoring in matchmaking ratings or leveraging existing progressions, but each presents unique challenges to our end goal of ensuring that Crucible offers our PvP players a fair and complete path to high-tier weapons and armor. We will be excited to share a solution once we have one nailed down. Alright, so we'll take a quick look at this FAQ here. Expansion activities such as story missions or destination activities present some unique challenges in how they relate to power and changing seasons. Our intended outcome is that expansion content is always a great way to start off a season and will have a path to high tier weapons and armor, but that progress via core game activities will be part of the path. Raids and dungeons released with expansions still represent a pinnacle challenge for players and will have their own paths to the highest tiers of weapons and armor too. So are old activities going away? No, except for some seasonal activities that are normally removed at the end of a year. Older activities will remain available to launch from the destination map just as they are today. Over time, it is our intention to clean up and retire some older activity offerings that, well served by the portal, such as Vanguard Ops. These have lots of ties to existing content, though, and will need to be removed over gradually. Okay, I butchered that, but it doesn't matter. Alright, so how does matchmaking work with challenge customization? For activities that support matchmaking, like those in Fireteam Ops, matchmaking will be available for some preset difficulties, but using challenge customization to enable different challenge modifiers will disable matchmaking. While Fireteam Finder may be a good way to pick up some slack here, we also intend to feature higher challenge options on a daily rotation and activities with active bonus rewards. These activities should be concentrated through populations to ensure that matchmaking can do a good job setting up good matches with solid connections. So this feels initially like the massive core gameplay rework and changes that we've been desperate for a long time. I'm sure lots of solo players are having many concerns right now. I'm sure as I'm reading this here on Twitch, there's people on Twitter just freaking out, thinking they're killing the solo grind, the solo challenges, low man challenge, whatever. We're not going to know until we get the update. We're not going to know until we get that. And I know people feel like it's just going to end up that way because with the final shape, like low manning is kind of dead. Not really, but a lot of people see it that way. And the only way we're going to know is to just keep going forward. It's the only way we're going to find out. So on to our next article. This is talking about our rewards now. All right. So welcome to one of many developer insight articles for Codename Frontiers. Over the weeks and months to come, we will be covering a lot of different topics about changes coming to Destiny 2 next year with these deeper dives. This is just a reminder to check back to the article here, which will continue to expand right here. All right, so let's talk about these core game rewards. Core game, expansion, and event activities will feature a reworked reward offering that provides a deeper reward chase across a wider range of activities. So our TLDR here is that weapons and armor will be available in a deeper range of quality across a wider range of activities. Core game activities will have dedicated reward pools for different categories of activities. Deer will be labeled new deer. During the season, it is introduced and is easier to recognize and build craft around. In Destiny's past seasons, only a narrow range of activities received updated rewards, leading to a narrow selection of activities worth playing. These reward pools tended to not be very deep either, with most chases bottoming out with the weapon perk rolls or crafting recipes and armor not mattering much at all. These problems have resulted in shallow, unsatisfying grinds in a tiny subset of the activities actually available to play, while the best rewards being a matter of luck than skill or mastery. This has always been a pretty big challenge. I mean, in a looter shooter like this, you kind of need that chase. You need those weapons and gear that keep people just like replaying a thing. But if you have just this overwhelming variety of difficulties and ways to expand and grow and continue, then like you don't need to keep people doing bonfire bash for hours on end until they bash their skull into the fucking wall. I'm gonna try and keep going pretty quickly here because I want to get this as like a cut, just a one cut thing for YouTube. I don't have an editing team like Aztecross to go through and find all the perfect stuff, so we're doing it live. All right, so legendary weapons and armor will be available in a deeper range of quality tiers that layer on properties like stat bonuses, enhanced perks, and other benefits. For weapons, this will be similar to how adept weapons upgrade the baseline legendary. The baseline tier of legendary weapons and armor will be equivalent to current day legendaries, with higher tiers being generally equivalent to adept weapons in terms of upgrade. So they're going to have enhanced in every column. They're going to have enhanced origin traits. I mean, this one image right here, if we just stop and like narrow down, this is insane. I mean, this is power creep on a whole nother level. I mean, this is power creep just for the sake of power creep because they don't know what else to do other than just keep cranking it up. I'm not against it. This looks great. I'd love to enhance my guns like this and just go freaking balls to the wall, have it all be maxed, whatever. Every gun is just like ridiculously overpowered. I mean, I'm not against this. I'm not against this at all. Alright, early mockups that are subject to change, of course. These higher tiers of weapons and armor will be available from a full range of core game activities as rewards for higher challenges and mastery of those activities. So the rewards pool are complete sets of weapons and armor that are available as rewards from one or more activities. Some weapons are shared across multiple pools, and the majority of weapons and all armor are unique to a single pool. A typical pool is a full armor set for each class, and enough weapons to provide multiple options for each weapon slot. All of these rewards are available at all tiers, so each reward pool is deep and supports a range of challenge in the activity they are associated with. The major core game reward pools will be updated in every major update and will be core PvE rewards shared among more accessible PvE activities like strikes, core PvP rewards shared among more accessible PvP activities like crucible rewards, pinnacle PvE rewards shared among more intrinsically challenging PvE activities like dungeons, pinnacle PvP rewards shared among more intrinsically challenging PvP activities like Trials of Osiris. Okay, I didn't need to slow down that much for that. All right. So every expansion also contains 2 full reward pools: expansion story, rewards shared among missions, exploration, and other activities in the expansion content; expansion raid/dungeon, rewards for expansion raid or dungeon activities. In addition to the above pools, some activities like events may have additions exclusive to that activity, such as individual weapons or armor sets. New gear will be a blanket category for all of the weapons and armor newly introduced in the current season, regardless of source. New gear will receive a special visual treatment to help players identify which weapons or armor sets are new, and which may therefore benefit from things like artifact bonuses. I like that. That's just a cool little quality of life thing that makes a bigger difference than you may realize Helps a lot of new players understand what they should be going for, what's the latest. Um, you know, some artifact bonuses, which previously applied to specific perks such as weapon origin traits, will now be pointed towards the wider category of new gear instead. This should provide more and clearer buildcraft options and make for some shorter tooltips in the artifact. New gear may be required in specific optional activities where players are looking for a level playing field. For example, a Crucible playlist option for players who want to play with and against the newly introduced gear. I like that a lot. Having a mode that's just like, hey, we're using the new stuff here. Your old stuff is still good, but use that somewhere else. Seasonal events centered on posting high scores in specific activities. All right. So we have the FAQ here. Does new gear mean old gear is being sunset? No, not at all. We already know sunsetting's gone. They unsunset everything already. So we don't even need to read that. Can you still obtain old gear? Of course you're going to be able to obtain old gear. Obviously, in the game currently, it's very hard to obtain certain old gear, but that's besides the point. And what's happening with weapon crafting? Weapon crafting is not going away and will continue to be a way to craft a specific role of a weapon. Our intent for crafting going forward is to provide a catch-up mechanism for roles you weren't able to nab from the original sources. This may be because that source is no longer available or was gated by lockouts when it was, but ultimately we want crafting to support the weapon chase and not replace it. We'll follow up with more details in a future article. This is good here. I think this vision's proper, and this is how weapon crafting feels now. Is it's a way to get certain things like that already. All right, so moving on to the portal. All right, so the TLDR for the portal is that the portal will offer several categories of activities, each with a wide selection of new and updated activities refreshed every 3 months with major update. All activities in the portal will provide updated and worthwhile rewards that'll be easy to find something to play. The destination map will be cleaned up and focused on world navigation and accessing older activities. So the problem, the destination map, also called the Director, is Destiny's venerable activity browsing and selection screen. Over the years, it has grown to be very unwieldy, making it harder to find specifically what's current and worthwhile to play, and requiring even more expert knowledge to navigate and find what you are looking for. My best example here is how far over Salvation's Edge is in the Pale Heart. That's besides the point, because it kind of makes sense. Even current players can have Even current players can have difficulty finding a new activity, while new or returning players have even greater trouble. The portal screen will be the new default activity selection screen, replacing the current destination map. So we have seen this once already. Curator, or portal as they are calling it. And of course, we already know that is a mockup that is subject to change. I kind of like it so far. Everything actually in one place for once. The emphasis of this redesign is quick and clean access to a wider offering of activities with updated rewards, as well as quick access to the current expansion or event content. Activities will be grouped into categories, more on these below, that expand to present up to a few dozen activities each. Each activity available to launch from the portal will feature updated rewards every season and will present a viable path to the highest tiers of weapons and armor available. Our intent is for most activity launching in a season to occur from the portal, and any choice you make will be a path to worthwhile rewards. All right, so our categories here. The individual categories available in the portal are solo ops, 1 to 3 player activities requiring very low time or social commitments. These activities are designed for solo players, yet are still fun with a fire team and are easy to pick up and play for a quick session. Solo ops will also feature a new activity type, which will get a deep dive soon. Fire team ops, 3-player activities for match-made or pre-made groups designed for fire teams with more cooperation and coordination. These will feature activities like strikes, onslaught, the coil, and new types in the future. We have our flashpoint ops. So, 6-player activities for match-made or pre-made groups planned for a future season, this category will be introduced next year. It will feature more chaotic 6-player combat-like offensives. I'm thinking of some of the... We've had battlegrounds or certain activities that are 6 players already in past seasons. So if they could expand on that even more, that could be cool. So our Pinnacle Ops. 3-player activities featuring some more challenging content, including dungeons, exotic missions, and full-length onslaughts. Pinnacle Ops have an exclusive reward pool to claim, but success is not guaranteed. I love that. If we could get in this Pinnacle Ops thing here, like, you go into a dungeon, but instead of just being able to reset at a checkpoint, your team wipes, you're starting that dungeon over. It's an extra challenge. It's exactly the type of thing they're talking about in these earlier core game articles. That would be amazing. Take and turn your dungeon into a roguelike activity you can hop into would be so cool, and I am here for it. Put that extinguish modifier on a master dungeon. Make it a selectable thing. That would be amazing. All right, and of course for Crucible, a selection of core Crucible playlists for solo players and fire teams, providing an opportunity to test your mettle against other Guardians. An exclusive reward pool is available to claim with the same depth of tiers as other categories. In addition to the above categories, Portal also provides direct access to the current expansion activities, as well as any currently running events like Iron Banner or Festival of the Lost. Objective streamlining. The Portal screen will also host consolidated and streamlined side objectives like bounties or seasonal challenges. That aspect of the redesign is still a work in progress. Okay. But the primary goal is to greatly reduce the chores that need to be done before diving into an activity. We will be sharing more about this change later in the year. All right, so bonus rewards. Every day, several activities in each category will have bonus rewards added to their standard offering. These bonus rewards will include things like specific weapons, specific armor slots, currencies like enhancement materials or strange coins. The bonus reward is guaranteed from the first daily clear and available at a high drop rate on future clears. Activities from bonus rewards will be sorted to the top and easy to find so that you can quickly scan what's available and decide if any are worth chasing. For match-made activities, they will also offer matchmaking at a wider range of difficulty options. And we already took a look at our game rewards, so let's look at our FAQ quickly before we wrap up this first video of the day. We are going to do the 10 years of Destiny separate, as this initial straight one-cut upload I'm doing is already close to an hour long. So our old activities going away. We've already kind of read that a little bit. We know that for the most part they're keeping stuff. It's going to be the same. Gambit will remain available from the destination map, but will not be rolled into the Portal categories at the start of next year. We're still figuring out our plan for this beloved game mode, and we have some ideas ranging from closer integration into the Crucible category to standalone events that feature it. Will raids and dungeons be in the Portal? Dungeon content will be featured in the Pinnacle Ops category, with some alterations to support challenge customization and reward rating. I cannot wait for this. I am a solo dungeon person. On YouTube, my first real series we've been working on the past few weeks has been redoing every dungeon solo flawless in the Final Shape episode Echoes. I have 2 dungeons left. Ghost of the Deep and Duality. I spent yesterday off stream on what is scheduled to be my day off, doing runs of Ghost of the Deep, trying to get it uploaded. We got to the boss once. We all know how that dungeon is. I cannot wait for this. This is going to make Destiny a much larger part of my stream again, and will keep Destiny a part of my content going forward if it delivers. But this next year will be super exciting as we dive into lots of other stuff. We have our Satisfactory stream coming tomorrow. So yes, I'm transitioning to the end of the video here where I'm going to talk about myself. We have a huge Satisfactory stream coming just tomorrow, Tuesday, September 10th. I will be live sometime before 11 a.m. to cover some, but not all, of the 3-hour launch stream that Coffee Stain Studios will be doing. We'll be setting up my dedicated server in order for the 24-hour stream and preparing that for my friends in our play session going forward. So make sure you go down into the description to Twitch and check that out. Now, I do kind of want to talk a little bit more about all of this that we have had here, but I'm just going to cut this video and have it be the straight up coverage. No one's really going to watch it anyway, so if anyone wants a straight read of all this stuff with a little bit spruced in there, it will be there. So thank you for watching. If you've watched this entire 55-ish minute video, thank you. The next upload will be the 10 years of Destiny article. We're going to do a separate little upload for that, so make sure you check it out. Thank you for watching.